Welcome back to the Man United stream. Hope you are doing well out there. Yes, it is the weekend and it's Saturday and we've got a big game against Burnley later on tonight. It is an away game that is a must win for Manchester United, but that is not our focus unfortunately right now. Yes, our focus is all about what we're hearing from the dressing room of Manchester United. There's a leak from within the dressing room that Ten Hag is losing his players. We're hearing from sources that some of these players are not happy with the way in which Ten Hag is treating players. Yes, some of the players, obviously not all of the players are against Ten Hag, but there's a small selection of players within that dressing room that are not happy in the way Ten Hag is dealing with things and in fact probably want him out. So in today's show we're going to be looking at who this informant could be, what is going on at Manchester United, and has Ten Hag really lost the dressing room? Please hit that like button on this video so it gets passed out to as many people as possible, and if you're new to the Manchester United stream channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Now, yesterday we got a report from the journalist Samuel Luckhurst. Now, he reported that there was some players within that dressing room, within Manchester United, within Old Trafford, that were not happy with Ten Hag's behaviour and his attitude towards some of the players within that dressing room. This was massive news, and Ten Hag was asked about this point blank in his press conference in yesterday's build-up to the game against Burnley. And shock horror, Ten Hag didn't actually deny that there were players who were upset with him within that dressing room. What Ten Hag did say is that it's a process that they have to go through to get to the other side and improve as a team. Now, firstly, this journalist called Samuel Luckhurst, he's the same journalist who turned around and said that Manchester United are not going to be signing Sofyan Amrabat. They're not interested in signing him. It was just false rumours. It's not going to happen. And this was just 3 days before Manchester United actually did end up signing him. So you can tell that this guy's sources are a bit rubbish, a bit crap, and he does make up a lot of stuff just out of thin air. Now, I'm not doubting that he has got a source within that Manchester United dressing room, and it sounds like it's some player that's upset with Ten Hag and wants to have his say. Now, we all can start guessing as to who this person might be, or players might be. The question is, who is this informant? Who is this rat? Who is this leak who's giving all this information to Samuel Luckhurst and to the press within that dressing room? Who could it be? Let us know in your comments below who you think it is. Now, we have got a good idea of who it could be, and the reason why we've got a good idea because it's quite obvious. It's a player that Ten Hag is obviously not picking and not putting in that team. So whoever's going to be upset is going to be a player who feels that they're good enough to be playing for that team in the first 11 and starting for Manchester United every week. Now, social media is awash with all the suggestions as who it could be. Who is this informant? Who is that rat within that dressing room who's giving all this information and keeps on giving this information? We've seen this type of leak in the past when players get unhappy with the manager. They start leaking the information to the press. We saw it under Jose Mourinho, we saw it under Solskjaer, and now we've started seeing it under Ten Hag. And clearly there's a pattern being developed here. All the players who are upset feel that they can go to the press and release this information and then get the manager sacked. Yes, that's unfortunately what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of Ten Hag from within. Now, who is this player or players that are trying to get rid of Ten Hag? It's quite obvious if you start putting pieces together who these players could be and why they want Ten Hag out. Now, the first suspect, and this is a suspect a lot of people have mentioned on social media, is Harry Maguire. For obvious reasons, he's not happy with the way Ten Hag has been treating him. He's not happy that he's lost a captaincy. He's not happy that he's not being played, and he is the England captain, and therefore there is a soft spot from all the media, from all the English media on Harry Maguire, and there is clear favouritism from the English media for Harry Maguire. If any other player at Manchester United performed that badly, he would have been absolutely put out to dry. But in the case of Harry Maguire, the media have let him be. They've let him be. In fact, he's still England captain. He still plays regularly for England. And even Southgate has come out and criticised the media for even slightly bullying him. Now, that's not even bullying. What they do to Harry Maguire is absolutely tip of the iceberg when it comes to other players within the Premier League that they absolutely destroy when they need to. We can see as Manchester United fans that Harry Maguire has been protected by the media. He's not been called out by the media. The media pick and choose who they want and who they don't want in that team. The media and the press are always trying to control the narrative and decide for the manager who should be playing and who shouldn't be playing. And this is exactly what's happening with Harry Maguire. Clearly the media want Harry Maguire to be playing. Clearly Harry Maguire has a relationship with the media and the press where he's given them the information when they want it, and therefore you scratch my back, I scratch your back. And so he gives them the information they need and they keep off his back and support him in every way they can. That's how it works, unfortunately, within the press, within the media. That's how it works. You give them something and they stay off your back. If you don't give them something, they'll come after you. And this is where Ten Hag is running into lots and lots of problems, because Ten Hag is refusing to have that relationship with the press. He's refusing to give them what they want, give them information on players and everything else so they can stay off his back. Ten Hag is keeping everything in-house, but clearly there is a leak within that dressing room that is giving all that information away. And now when you piece the jigsaws together, you can see why Ten Hag wanted these players out of the dressing room, why he wanted Harry Maguire sold, and why he wanted McTominay sold. Now, another name that has been mentioned that has not been happy with the way Ten Hag has dealt with things is McTominay. He also feels that he should be played in that team and is not being allowed to play and not being given the time that he deserves. So that could be another possibility of the informant. It could be that McTominay is the other informant or is the only informant to the press. It's unlikely, but it could be McTominay. Now, the third option everyone is pointing to is Jadon Sancho. Now, this is a strong possibility also because Jadon Sancho is currently not getting on with Ten Hag. He's got issues with the club. He wants to leave. There's lots and lots of things going around, and he could also be releasing that information. But the only question mark with Jadon Sancho is, has he been the one who's been leaking all this information back in the days, or is this someone new? We believe it's someone like Harry Maguire who's been there long enough and has a relationship with the press. We all know when things go wrong for him, the press leaks start coming out one by one, and as soon as a manager starts making these difficult decisions within that dressing room, players revolt and start giving this information out. What a load of rubbish. We have to put a stop to this. We have to put a stop to this vicious cycle, and it is a vicious cycle of players, whenever they don't get their way, whenever they get dropped by the manager, that they go off and start giving all these leaks off to the press, hoping that the manager gets sacked. And that's exactly what is happening right now. With the past 2-3 managers at Manchester United, you can see that this is a cycle. You can see the pattern. It's actually happening again. The players, when they're not happy, start leaking this information, and the manager comes under pressure slowly but surely. It starts building and building, and suddenly, boom, we start losing games, we lose confidence, and the players revolt even further, and suddenly the manager has been sacked. And this is what's happening now. Now we have to put a stop to this. Us fans need to stop this rubbish coming out of the press. We need to stop reading this rubbish, and we need to counteract it by telling the journalists to shut the hell up, because these journalists are just feeding us crap, and they want everyone to believe that Ten Hag has lost the dressing room and the players are unhappy. It's clear. We know which players are not happy with Ten Hag. Those that are not being picked, and those that are on the pitch playing for Manchester United want to give it their all and will perform. And it's also clear that Ten Hag wanted to get rid of these informants, these players that are now chatting crap behind his back, giving all this information to the press. He wanted to get rid of these players in the summer transfer window, and it was probably because of the whole cock-up with the Glazers and the board that they couldn't get rid of these players, and they've sat there and kept these players. And there is that thing of favouritism. There is a favouritism towards Maguire. For whatever reason that is, we don't know, but we do know that the board and the people around Manchester United and the people involved in the press do offer Maguire some protection. Any other player within that situation would have been long gone at Manchester United. Now, we need to give the manager the power that he needs to do what he needs to do with the players. If that means dropping Jadon Sancho for not doing what he's been told in training, then so be it. That has to be the right call for the Manchester United as a club. If the manager cannot do that, you might as well not have a manager. You might as well have the players deal with everything themselves. You might as well have the players pick and decide who they want to play and when they want to play and how hard they want to train. That is the player power that we're dealing with. Let us know what you think of this. Do you think Erik Ten Hag has been unjust with the players, or do you think he's doing what he's meant to be doing? Is that his job and that is what he's doing, and the players just need to get up and start actually playing football and start working hard rather than complaining about the manager? How many times are we going to change the manager before we realise that it's not the manager that's the issue? Drop your comments below and let us know what you think of all of this. And by the way, please make sure you hit that like button on the video, and if you're still listening and you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Okay, so summing up what we've just discussed so far, who is this bloody leak and why is he giving this information? We need to get to the bottom of this and we need to get them out of the club quick time, because they clearly are giving internal information that Ten Hag does not want out in the press about what's going on behind the scenes, what's being said to players, which players are not happy and which players are happy. There's never a time where you'd get 100% squad 100% happy with what's going on at the club. Of course there's going to be players out there within that dressing room that are not going to be happy because they're not playing. That is a footballer's life. If you're not being played, you're going to be unhappy. Now, we don't know why the press are focusing so much on the Manchester United dressing room, but you could guess why, because they want Ten Hag out. They're not happy with Ten Hag. They never were happy with Ten Hag. They really didn't want Ten Hag as the manager of Manchester United. They wanted a big name. They wanted someone who they could grill, someone who'd give them entertaining interviews, someone who'd give them entertaining press conferences, someone who'd say lots of crazy things and they could report about it and make headlines and make lots of money out of those headlines. That is what they wanted. Ten Hag is not their man, because Ten Hag is very calm, very collected, does not give anything away in those press conferences and does not like giving them any leaks and information that they want. And this is why he's not playing ball, and they don't like that. The press do not like that and they're out to get him. And the more and more Ten Hag stops giving this information to the press, the more the press will get on his back and will want him out. You can see it from all the narrative that we're hearing around Manchester United, from all the games that they're playing. Everything that they're doing is negative and negative from the press. The fans are not negative. The fans are positive. The fans know that this is a process, and we fans know that this is the same manager that got us into the Champions League with a crap team in last season, and this is the same manager that won a trophy in his debut season. This is the same person that we're dealing with. He hasn't changed. So we need to support this manager and let him and give him time to process the team and change the style of play into what he feels is the future for this team. He's got the players, he's getting more players. He just needs to get rid of these rats within the dressing room, and then everything will start popping off. We need to win tonight against Burnley and get the pressure off Ten Hag and the players, and then we need to go on a decent run in the games ahead and really start cooking with this team. Hopefully we get to see Amrabat, Varane is back, we've got Mount coming back, we've got players coming back, and there's good news, there's positivity. I can feel the positive vibes coming out of this Manchester United team, and you should too. So make sure you watch the game, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. You're watching the Man United Stream, a channel by the fans for the fans.